So guys, you have seen me take issue with things that Benchmade does over the years on a lot of things, but this time it's just the knife itself. It's not the price, that's part of it. But we're gonna get into it. We're gonna look at, I think, the worst knife that Benchmade has made, the 810 Contigo. Guys, like I said in the intro, I've been critical of Benchmade. And I didn't say it in the intro, but I've never really said that they've had bad knives. Most of your Benchmade knives are quality made knives, and this is done in some quality materials. This is the Contigo. This is a knife that I absolutely think shouldn't exist. And especially when you consider that it has a much more functional, much more attractive, much more comfortable little brother, the Osborne 940. Now, the Contigo is a design done by Osborne. It is, it's got a patent up. This is the first production run of the Osborne Contigo. This one is done in CPM M4 and G10. It's got lightning weight reduction in the scales, and it's got a pretty decent access lock. I will never say that Benchmade's access locks aren't good. I'll just say that I've never had a knife with an access lock that didn't have blade play. So at any rate, that's pretty much the good stuff on this knife, because there really isn't much good about this knife. They had a chance to do a really good, nice version of a knife that was going to be a larger version, very similar to the 940. So just for size comparison, you can see them side by side. There's your Benchmade 940. You guys are going to see a good size comparison there. So I'm gonna get this out of the way and go ahead and jump into this knife. First of all, never buy a first production run, especially from Benchmade. There's always gonna be a lot of issues. This thing has got a lot going on in it. First of all, it's a half and half blade. I hate this. Either do a full serrated or do a straight edge. I do not like serrated blades at all. This is done in M4, which is a very, very good steel. It's really resilient. I like M4. It takes an incredible edge. I sharpened this for my buddy when he asked me to. But the thing is, you had a chance to do a different kind of grind with this knife. So unlike the 940, it's got a nice broad blade. They could have brought this down thinner behind the edge. And you can see they absolutely did not. I'm not a fan of the blade shape. It's all belly. The spot that I would use, which is the flat, is now serrated. And then it's got a weird shape to it. I'm not a big fan of this shape blade anyway. It does run on thumb studs, but this is another one of those knives that the action is so soft, leaving detent. This happens with some sliding bar locks and access locks, that it's really easy to not get it to deploy all the way. As you can see, it's just really soft coming out of detent. That's why you don't have many access lock flippers. It just really has got an issue where that leaving that detent is soft, and you just really got to snap into it because it's a heavy blade. Next thing, it is just nothing but a nightmare to handle and hold. So all this cool jimping that you guys see that looks cool just means that this thing is just not got a comfortable position on it anywhere. Look at all this jimping. This is a time where I would be happy if the jimping was all softened, but it's not. All of this jimping is, and I know there's people who are going to be saying, oh, it's for first responders, so if they're wearing gloves. I'll tell you what, great. Make a version that's not for first responders. Make this a police or first responder only knife and provide it to law enforcement agencies, because this thing is literally, I'm not gonna lie, it's a piece of shit in the hand. I typically don't curse in my videos. I try to keep my videos pretty clean. This feels horrible. It is garbage in the hand. All of this in here is just nothing but hot jimping. It does not feel good in the hand anywhere. All of this that is basically for that traction, that's fine, that's great. It's not as bad as this, but even that does not feel good in the hand. This is the most uncomfortable knife to use. Okay, so the reason you're not seeing like a full use review is I couldn't stand to cut with it. I tried to a couple times. I just couldn't stand the way it feels. It is hot everywhere. To quote Nick Shabazz, it's like having a handful of hornets. It is disgustingly bad. The next thing about it, the pocket clip. This pocket clip scoots around, it moves around, and it's not a comfortable pocket clip. This is a horrible pocket clip from Benchmade. I don't like anything about it. And the worst thing of all is this is meant to be a hard use knife. And it's not. It really isn't. There's not much you can do with it because I don't know if you guys know this. Doing regular cutting with a serrated knife really sucks. And so the area you have to do any heavy cutting is right there because the belly on this sweeps up so far that it slips off anything you're in cutting. So you got to start your cut up here and then you have like literally an inch of usable blade. This is just really the worst knife that they've made. Everything about this is horrible. The one thing I will say, the centering isn't horrible. But back to what I was saying about every Benchmade I've ever had with an access lock. By the time you get a nice free action to where you can snap it open, if you really get on the thumb studs on this model, there's a wiggle. There's a wiggle. And if I tighten that down any further, it's stiff. It's a two-hand opener after that. You literally have to use two hands to close it, two hands to open it because it's just too stiff. I have that same issue with my Benchmade 940. It's got a lot of play. If I tighten it down even just a tiny turn, it's too tight. Benchmade really needs to figure out what they're doing wrong. And the biggest thing is this knife costs $212 at the places I could find it. And it's discontinued. Thank God it's discontinued. There is a straight edge version of this. I will say I do know that there is a straight edge version of this, or a plain edge version, if you would. But the fact is, it's still $212. $212. And then the last thing, I forgot to mention this. That's not ergonomic at all comfortable to get in there. It's just like everything about it. Look, your hand looks like it's deformed when you hold it. Absolutely despise this knife. If you find these on discount, do not even bother picking it up. There's a reason it's discontinued and there's a reason they're on discount. Shame on you, Benchmade. Shame on you. Yeah, guys, like I said, typically my issues with Benchmade are quality and maybe some design features and things like that. I don't honestly think that Benchmade makes bad knives. I think they make bad pricing structure decisions. Their knives do not demand the price they are charging at all. There's several companies that Spyderco, at least you get more. Their quality is better at the price point. Still a big difference between what you're getting and what you're paying for. But with Benchmade, it's left the realm of intelligence and responsible marketing. Some of their knives are $700 now, and they're no better than these. The grinds and things, they've just lost their mind, and I just cannot say anything really good about Benchmade at this point until they fix their pricing structure and make their knives worth what they're charging or drop their prices. So this thing is just horrible. It's hideous. It should never even existed, and it's a reason it's discontinued. So that being said, guys, I know that there's a lot of people that probably love this knife, but the people that I've talked to that really love the knife are like, yeah, after I bought aftermarket scales for it, it was fine. And I'm like, I shouldn't have to drop an extra $100 on an already $212 to $250 knife, depending on the vendor. So that's it on this one, guys. If you want to support the channel, I did not throw a Coffee Brand Coffee ad in, but I have got two channel-sponsored channel sponsors, Coffee Brand Coffee and Tempered Trail. Tempered Trail has a coupon code of Crazy Sharp, all one word. You can use that to save 5% at checkout. It also works at Fair & Forge Knife Works and Rosecraft Blades. Coffee Brand Coffee, the discount is built into my link. Check them out. Awesome, awesome coffee. It's a guilt-free purchase. They are apolitical. They do not support any political causes. And they have a money-back guarantee, so it is a zero-risk purchase for you. There's another way you can do it. I've got an Amazon store down below. You can take that link, pin it to your browser, use it for any Amazon shopping you're going to do. You don't even have to put on pants, and it doesn't cost you anything at checkout. And the final way is you can join my membership, which is my preferred way. I love having the members. It's always fun. We do a lot of stuff. I provide, I think, some of the most robust benefits for a small channel. You get access to my private Discord chat on Gilded. It's just like Discord, but it's on Gilded. There's multiple chat rooms. All the members have access. All the members get early access to videos the second I post them up, and they also get exclusive content. Premium and baseline members are entered into giveaways that I do on the Gilded server for those two tiers, and the top tier, the premium tier, has access to a sharpening tutorial series here on YouTube behind that paywall. Guys, that's it on this one. I love y'all. Keep it clean in the comments section. If it's your birthday, happy birthday, and I'll see you in the next video.